Hello and welcome back to the Instant Fame. It's a name that has echoed through the halls of cinema for nearly 5 decades, a standard of excellence so ingrained in our cultural consciousness that we often forget to stop and truly consider the artist behind the aura. Meryl Streep. To even utter the name is to conjure a montage of unforgettable faces and voices, a kaleidoscope of characters who never felt like performances, but rather like real, breathing women captured in a moment of extraordinary drama or quiet truth. She is the actress who has been nominated for more Academy Awards than any other performer in history, a statistic so staggering it almost defies belief, transforming her into something more than a movie star. She became an institution, a synonym for peerless talent. We remember her as the sophisticated, heartbroken Karen Blixen in Out of Africa, her voiceover work alone a masterclass in wistful remembrance. We recall the raw, primal scream of a mother in Sophie's Choice, a moment that forever altered the emotional ceiling of what acting could achieve. We can still hear the clipped, terrifying precision of Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada, a character so iconic she became a global shorthand for formidable authority. For generations, she was not just an actress we admired. She was an actress we trusted implicitly to take us somewhere profound, to show us a reflection of humanity in all its messy, glorious complexity. She was, for all intents and purposes, untouchable, a beloved monument in the landscape of American art. And then something shifted. The cultural conversation, always a tempest of opinions, turned its gaze toward this monument, and a curious thing began to happen. A murmur started, not about a new role or a red carpet appearance, but about the very essence of her legacy. It began subtly, a trickle of online discourse that has since swelled into a full-blown re-examination, a collective questioning that asks us not to celebrate her past triumphs, but to grapple with her present place in a world that has changed dramatically. The search queries tell a story of their own, a digital pulse of public curiosity that trends not toward adoration, but toward a phrase that is deliberately provocative. Remember Meryl Streep? Try not to gag when you see her today. This is not the language of respectful critique. It is the language of a cultural moment of reckoning, a demand to look past the golden statues and the fawning tributes and see something else entirely. This is the story of that shift, an exploration of how a figure once universally revered finds herself at the center of a modern maelstrom, and what her journey tells us about the evolving and often unforgiving relationship between our idols and ourselves. To understand the weight of this present moment, one must first appreciate the sheer scale of the pedestal upon which Meryl Streep was placed. Her career was not merely successful, it was a sustained act of artistic alchemy that spanned generations. She didn't just play parts, she dissolved into them, leaving no discernible trace of Meryl behind. She mastered accents with a linguist's precision, from the Polish-inflected English of Sophie Zawistowski to the flat, folksy twang of Loretta Lynn. She commanded the screen not with explosive theatrics, though she was capable of them, but with an unparalleled depth of internal life. A single glance from her could convey libraries of unspoken thought and feeling. This technical mastery, combined with an almost preternatural ability to embody women from every walk of life, created an aura of infallibility. She was, as the narrative went, the greatest, and the industry affirmed this at every turn, showering her with a record-breaking 21 Oscar nominations and 3 wins. She became a talisman for quality, a signal that a project was serious, important, and worthy of attention. For decades, her public persona was equally polished and unimpeachable. So, where does this leave us? Where does it leave her? To see Meryl Streep today is to see a complex Rorschach test of our own cultural moment. She is no longer just an actress. She is a symbol onto which we project our feelings about art, politics, gender, power, and aging. The woman who once could do no wrong in the public eye is now a figure who can seemingly do no right for a vocal contingent. The search trends and viral video titles are less about her and more about us, about our desire to tear down our idols, to prove that no one is truly as good as they seem, and to hold the powerful of yesterday accountable for the standards of today. It is a messy, often unfair, but arguably necessary process. Monuments are meant to be questioned. Legacies are not static. They are living things that require reinterpretation with each passing era. The unquestioned adoration for any public figure is ultimately a hollow form of respect. The criticism, however harsh, is a sign that she still matters, that her place in the culture is significant enough to be worth fighting over. And through it all, the work remains. The work is immutable. The heartbreaking vulnerability of her performance in Kramer vs. Kramer, the ferocious ambition of The Iron Lady, the hilarious, pitch-perfect warmth of Mamma Mia, these are not erased by a controversial statement or an unflattering photograph.